affecting 40% of adults and 10% of teenagers, anxiety takes the lead over depression as the most common form of mental illness in the United States. That means 4,184,400 teenagers and 128,907,200 adults have some form of anxiety. Some people with this mental condition are Emma Stone, Adele, and Jennifer Lawrence. And even though many people suffer from anxiety, even more people have no clue what it's really like. I will explain what is anxiety, what it's like to have social anxiety, and I will finish up with the treatments for anxiety. While I was prepping for this speech, I want to say that my speech is extremely credible, as I myself do have social anxiety disorder because I was diagnosed by my doctor last summer. I as well have done plenty of research on the topics of having social anxiety disorders. Part 1. What is anxiety? It affects the masses and is majorly misunderstood, and it is not feeling just a teensy bit nervous whenever something little happens and then just quickly getting over it. It's defined as having feelings of worry and irritability to the point it affects how you live your life. Also, a study at Harvard has discovered that the hippocampus, two bulbs in your midbrain, the amygdala, a small area of your midbrain, causes feelings and memories of anxiety, irritability, and fear in safe situations. And lack of serotonin is also due to these memories and feelings being caused. A person with anxiety may get panic attacks, induced fear, or hyperventilation. For example, if someone with social anxiety might get a panic attack at giving a presentation, like I'm doing right now. Now there are different types. There's OCD, the obsessive compulsive disorder. People with this disorder might hoard, commit compulsive and repetitive hand washing, and have mysophobia, or the fear of germs. There's panic disorder, or PD. People with this disorder suffer from panic attacks from small situations. There's people with PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disorder. This is caused from traumatic incidents in the person's life, such as combat, abusive childhood, or sexual assault. They get flashbacks, panic attacks, and nightmares. People with social anxiety disorder, or SAD. They get panic attacks, fear and worry in social situations. And then there are also different types of phobias that go along with anxiety. There's agoraphobia, the fear of being left alone, and claustrophobia, the fear of tight, confined spaces. And finally, there is the most common form of anxiety in the United States, general anxiety disorder, or the fear of things in everyday life, such as going on dates, meeting new people, and other things like that. While you all may have the info, many cannot empathize with a sufferer. Imagine with me what it's like to have an anxiety disorder, more specifically, social anxiety disorder. In the hallway at school, you might think people are judging me, looking at me, saying horrible things about me. But really, they might not be looking at you, not thinking of you, and not even judging you whatsoever. If you're talking and joking with your friends, and they stop talking suddenly, you might think they hate me or they're angry at me because of what I said. And really, they might have just stopped talking for something completely unrelated. Help is also hard. It's hard to ask for help, as they'll think I'm stupid, ignorant, or they'll laugh. But really, they might be actually happy to help you. Although anxiety is a crippling handcuff, there's help. Therapy is common, but it can cost $75 to $200 depending on the psychiatrist. There's medications such as citalopram, which increases the serotonin in the brain. And the alternative methods of treatment is meditation, yoga, acupuncture, and etc. Conclusion. Although anxiety disorders are gripping and feel nearly impossible to overcome, they can be wrestled into submission. My advice to others with these disorders would be not to let it rule your life because you're strong. You're not this thing that hurts and cripples you. You can overcome these chains that hold you back. How long was it?